What the fuck is happening, people? Welcome to the General Banter Podcast. Today is, oh god, it's the 21st of April. This is a weird one today. It's been a long day. We'll put the old pedo papers on. I'll tell you what's happened. This is a regular broadcast for the General Banter Podcast. Wearing my own merch here. This day started with me trying to facilitate a podcast with Mickey Bartlett. We recorded it via Zoom. It was El Disastro. His sound quality was pish. Mine was great, as usual. And we thought that was going to be the only bit of the podcast. I thought to myself, people are maybe not going to hang around with this sort of quality. So I've put it on. I've tacked it on the end of this podcast. I'll do a bit of a podcast, up front here. And then it'll drift into the chat with Mickey Bartlett. I imagine you're not doing fucking anything else during this time. So you'll be able to get through it. I straight away finished the podcast and started Googling external microphones. I was going to post them one, and we can, use Zoom with an external microphone, get that real good quality. So if you want to listen to that, it'll kick in after half an hour, 40 minutes or so. Cough myself to death. So there you have it. That'll do. As I said, this is a regular broadcast, and if you want any bonus material, it's over on the Patreon, just like every fucking cunt in the country. Oh, I've got a fucking milk sheep. If you get onto the Patreon, you'll see me do it with my feet or whatever. Everyone's got a fucking OnlyFans. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, here's a picture of my fucking tits with two wee emojis over them. Get on the OnlyFans there, and you can see the rest of the nips, and you're like, well, no thanks, sir. Here's the intro. We'll get stuck into it, my dudes. Oh yeah!
Colin Geddis.
I want you to get this self
Death.
This man will make your liver quiver. This man will make your bladder splatter. Let's all welcome the world's godfather soul.
Colin Geddis.
It's Geddis, actually.
Geddis.
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 Fuck you. Ooh, yeah, here we are. We're doing a podcast. Yeah, me and Mickey covered a lot of fucking topics later in the podcast. We covered it all. I was talking a bit about being champagne drunk. Honestly, I've talked about this a lot. Where I'm Mr. Late to the party. Every time someone gets into something and fucking 5-6 years go by, then I finally catch up and I go, I am into this. And last night for me, it was champagne. I was the same with whiskey. For years I would smell whiskey and I would go, that's disgusting. I thought this was going to taste like chocolate. And in fact, it's ripping the fucking nasal hairs off me. Until I had a nice whiskey. I had a nice whiskey one night. Maureen's dad gave me like it was like Crested 10 or something, some Jameson derivative. And I was like, this is gorgeous. Oh my God. The same thing happened to me last night, guys, with champagne. And, I always thought, the little bit of the bubbly type guys, you get it free at a wedding and it's actually Prosecco, or someone buys Prosecco and it tastes like, just fucking tangy, fizzy piss. And, if it was on the table, you're like, yeah, a little bit of the bubbly, and you fucking throw it into you, hoping, trying to get steaming. And then last night, I had some fancy champagne left over from the SSE gigs, which I give them more. I was like, you should have that. I'll not appreciate it. And then, it's the lockdown. The lockdown is like it's like a prolonged version of the dying hour of a party. Where you're like, oh, what's left to drink? And you'll be drinking like drain cleaner. And then you'll be like, what's left to eat? I'm starving now. And you raid someone's fridge in their house, and you're like, I have mustard and dry pasta and toothpaste. What do you want to make? And you end up making some bullshit. I did the fanciest version of that last night, where I was like, we're out of beers, we're out of whiskey, we've got nothing left apart from this £70 gifted bottle of champagne. So let's really get into it. It was on the chill all day, and I fucking got stuck into it. And I was like, bro, where have you been all my life? I was feeling like a fancy bitch. And, I hate to say this, I think it made me funnier. We were all sitting around watching TV. We were watching, now granted we were watching quite a funny program, but you throw a bit of fucking champagne on the big lad, and all of a sudden I'm Mr. Giggles. Everyone's laughing. I'm cracking jokes. I'm like, did I just pop the cork on my personality? Are all these little bubbles of personality in here? You know what? It hurt my back. The fucking pain went away immediately. I'm like, bro, I'm an alcoholic wag over here. I'm one of those housewives of fucking insert, wealthy area where it hits like fucking, 10 to 12 and you go, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. As if 5 o'clock ever mattered to you your entire fucking life, you lazy bastard. You married some fucking rich dude and you haven't lifted a finger since. Huh? That was me. Just first class, it was chinned. I don't know why, like, more people don't drink that sort of shit. Maybe they do. Maybe Prosecco has the same effect. But I feel like, I had one glass of this shit and it did the work of like 10 beers. I was fucking wasted, bro. And I've definitely pulled a muscle in my chest. I keep rubbing it. It's up there. I've been doing some weird fucking exercises. It hurts, man. Sore back, sore tits. Yeah, it seems like I'm a fancy champagne lady now, and that's just the fucking way it is. Things change. People are like, Colin, you've changed. Yeah, fucking they have. And now every carryout's gonna fucking skin me alive. I'll be saving up all year. Is this your drinking night? It is. I'm gonna have 3 bottles of champagne and be bankrupt. So shit-faced. Great behavior to have with it, with a fucking 6-month-old child who's teething. I turn around in the morning and say, listen, I'm full of champagne and it's my birthday. It's not your birthday. It is. It's somebody's birthday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. If the baby wakes up in the middle of the night, it's all yours. Babe, tagging you in because daddy's going to be chins. Chinderella over here. Absolutely chinned. So good night. And I'll probably snore because I'm blocked. So that's me, man. Just fucking champagneing it up. Trying to record podcasts every fart's end. I'll tell you what, nothing documents the passing of time quicker than being due a podcast out again. I'll tell you that. That's my life. Oh, I got a podcast done. Upload it. Feel accomplished. Day goes by. Do another one. For fuck's sake, what have I signed myself up for? Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And I'm getting mixed reviews, What is that noise? What is that noise I just made? I'm getting people going, man, these fucking 40-minute podcasts you're doing on the Patreon, brilliant. And I'm like, really? Yeah, we like your podcast, but we don't like that much of you. You know what I mean? It's like eating, Mars bars. 1 Mars bar, nice. 3 Mars bars, I'm vomiting. So keep your podcast down to 1 Mars bar is what I'm saying. Yeah, I can't please people. Podcast too long, podcast too short. And meanwhile, pick another podcast because every cunt and his uncle has a podcast now. I'm seeing guys like Colin Murphy, seen him. He's got a podcast. And, he's fucking legend of Northern Irish comedy. But, it's kind of like there's a lot of people now are doing podcasts because they probably feel like they should do one. And they have to do one rather than they actually want to do one. Because I'm OG, guys. You guys are the Dead On Mafia. This motherfucker been churning out podcasts since day one. I don't even know how many years I've been doing a podcast. Is it 8? There's people who haven't even heard of the fucking word podcast till this year. I've been telling people for ages, got a podcast. And then eventually, people are in lockdown and they start looking and think, what's a podcast? It's like a radio show you can listen to anytime. Are you fucking serious? And then all of a sudden they're like, I get messages all the time. Bro, I didn't even know you had a podcast. I'm like, yeah. Been doing it for fucking ages, man. And people are like, how have you sustained it for so long? And I go, I'll tell you why. It's because of gold like this.
Say when. Say when. Tell me when.
I've started it.
No, the boys.
Guy down in a pint. Puberty. Guy down in a pint. Now, Sorry there was no trigger warning on that, but that's a guy vomiting violently after doing like one of these neck nominate type things where he's like, now you would be mistaken to think that the funny bit of that is when he goes and it hits the floor. The funniest bit of this is at the start, right? When he's like, tell me when.
Say when. Say when. Tell me when.
I've started.
The guy is fucking bricking it. He's like, I'm not gonna do a down a pint, I'll be sick. And the guy's like, just fucking do it. And he's like, tell me when. Tell me when. Tell us when. And then he's about to fucking ejaculate.
Say when.
Say when. Say when.
Say when. Tell me when.
It's almost like he's going, you know, I'm not going to see how this goes. I know 110% absolutely that I'm going to throw up. Tell me when. Say when. Say when. And he fucking chugs it and barfs immediately. Oh, bro, I do feel a bit sick myself now. I love the way, if you see this video, there's a guy inside the window of the kitchen and he's just looking out like, what the fuck is going on out there? And this guy's like, oh, bro. And it's a San Miguel. Bro, I think he threw up more than he even drank there. But that's why people keep tuning in, because from day one, I've been providing you with the bokes and the porns and giving you top-notch fucking commentary on them. Drinking and burping straight down the mic. Suck my dick, world. But that's tremendous. Now, I've drank a lot of San Miguel in Tenerife one time, and I barfed in a similar fashion in a toilet of a very small bar where basically, it was actually more of like a restaurant. I don't know, it was close to my granny's apartment that we were staying in. She had an apartment over there for a long time, and we would go over and, wreck the place. But it was such, old school English holiday, like where, there's all the fucking red lines and shit. And we went in this place because they were doing like karaoke or something. And I had spaghetti bolognese in a place, and I was drinking San Miguel's, and they were borderline warm, and I was just throwing them into me, and I was like, I feel really, really sick. And I basically, there was like, when you got like you got one door into a very small toilet, and the door just opens into the fucking restaurant, and I'm waiting in the queue, waiting on this guy to get out of the way, and he came out of the toilet, and I went in there, and it's Tenerife, you know what I mean? It's like 40 degrees, it's fucking boiling. And I just opened the door and fucking, tell me when, tell us when. And I'll tell you what, if you really want to have fun, eat spaghetti before you go on the piss, because it is worm central. And I've talked about this many times on the podcast. Not the only time, I've had an Italian-based barf. I did it one time before where, I mixed a seafood medley with some linguine. Also, that came up in stringiness. But then I also followed the dinner with Haribo and Dr. Pepper. So it tasted like Parmesan and then looked like some sort of LSD nightmare with fucking bears and flying saucers and shit in it. And we wonder why I'm obese. But that has to be video of the week. That guy at the start, though,
Say when.
terrified.
Say when.
Say when.
Tell me when.
I've started.
I fucking started already. Bro, so funny, like. And do you know what's funny? His other hand is doing that little like unconscious thing where it's like moving in a panicky way because he's chugging it. Do you know what the worst bit of that is? He's in his socks, bro. He's in his fucking socks. Tell me when. Tell me when. Tell me when. Tremendous. Fuck me. I feel rough. We don't have that much material to get through before we click into this podcast with Mickey, I will play this video. I got sent this. And this was from a guy. I'll not mention his name in case he knows who this girl is and whatever. But he sent this and he goes, what do you think of this? And we'll get into it just now. You ready?
Making jokes about women are harmful because there's already harmful stereotypes to reinforce about women that people make jokes about. However, there are no harmful stereotypes about men because men have not been oppressed. So there's a difference between saying kill all women when women are killed for their gender and have been treated shittily for their gender, than the difference and saying kill all men when that is the absurd. That has never happened. That now never will happen. There is a difference between making jokes about men and women. It's the same with making jokes about black and white people. It's the same with making jokes about straight and gay people. The oppressor oppresses the oppressed. You can make jokes about the oppressor, but jokes from the oppressor to the oppressed are not jokes because they come from real beliefs.
Now, the guy that sent me that, he goes, this might be interesting for the podcast. You could read that out. And I said, listen, the only reason I kept listening is because she was hot. and then I said, you know what? No fucks given. There's a pandemic going. Hashtag Trump 2020. I was like, had she been a monter, and I switched it right off. Because I'm living up the male stereotypes. Eat my fat dick. This is the problem with, being a comedian. There's a lot of shit a comedian will say because you're not supposed to say it. And they'll go against their own beliefs. There's things I say on stage that I don't even agree with. But you gotta say, sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like you gotta say the roughest shit because that's what you're there for. You gotta react in the worst way to the worst things. Because you're making fun of it. When did making fun become a bad thing? Stop making fun of me. I'm not making fun of you. I'm bullying you. I make fun of other stuff. But I think, I was just saying there, now, first of all, I don't know who the fuck she's talking about, which says kill all women. Who said kill all women? And then, what sort of psycho was going, I think you should kill all women. And then someone goes, what do you mean by that? And they go, I'm actually joking. Well, that's not a joke. That's just a fucking incel saying some bullshit because he's angry. The truth is, you literally, you can joke about anything. You can joke about anything. And then there's the question of should you joke about all things? Not always, but you can joke about everything. There's various ways where it's done well. Like Chris D'Elia in his latest special, there's a very good bit about, racial stereotypes or whatever. And he says about about black people walking across. Did I talk about this already? Black people walking across the road slowly. And he goes, I'm only joking. But then he does this really weird face as if to be like, but am I? But he's like, can you really get mad at me just making a face? And you're like, yeah, it's a good point. Because I suppose a white guy saying that to black people who, historically have been oppressed, currently are being oppressed in certain ways, is that, are you still able to do that? And you're like, yeah, kind of, because it's done in a good way. I think, I don't know the full story. Very possibly what this girl is talking about is something that wasn't a joke. It wasn't even funny enough to be classed as a joke. It was just a statement that someone backed out of by going, oh, I was only joking. Which I do all the time to my wife. And if you're talking about people being oppressed, where's my march? Because I get slagged every day in my household. No respect. I feel like Rodney Dangerfield. Can't get no respect. Shocking.
Making jokes about women are harmful because there's already harmful stereotypes to reinforce about women that people make jokes about. However, there are no harmful stereotypes about men because men have not been oppressed. So there's a difference between...
Yeah, but that gets murky as well, because what if you're... I mean, it's murky waters, isn't it? Because, you know, if you saying that's the same as black people or white people making fun of black people, you know, there are male black people. I think it just comes down to being like, you know, fucking white. But then again, you know, what happens if you're a fucking white Irish person being oppressed by, you know, British rule at some point? It's like fucking everybody. There's a very. That's why they talk about the 1% and the 1% of the 1% and all this here shit. There's very fucking limited amount of people who aren't in some way getting shit from one direction or another. You could be straight, white, hetero, all that bullshit, and still be like just born in a shitty area and have kind of crap life and be oppressed and fucking victim of your surroundings and all that sort of shit. So it's just hard. There's always a fucking
kill all women when.
Yeah, that's not a joke. I don't know who said that. Anyway, I thought there'd be a lot more humor in that, really, to be honest with you. But there wasn't. Here's the thing. It's all about intent. And, you know, I've done dodgy jokes in my time. People laughed. I know a lot of good comedians have done very dodgy jokes. More on good jokes around dodgy subjects is more the way it was. And then I've heard shit comedians go out and try and get the sort of like, you know, shock factor and just do a load of bollocks, crude jokes. And there's just too many of them and it becomes really predictable. And then it's just kind of like, shut the fuck up, will you? You're like, you can't have fucking 12 Madeleine McCann jokes in a row. For fuck's sake. But yeah, listen, we all need to fucking loosen up. It's a pandemic. Who gives a fuck, really? You know, who you're really harming when you can't leave your house? You know, I'll stay at home, drop a bunch of M-bombs when I'm singing along to songs. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck at this point? Anyway, I feel like all I've done is talk for fucking 3 hours straight today. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna let you move on into the podcast I did with Mickey Bartlett today. We will sort some sound quality issues out, whatever. But hopefully you enjoy that. There are bonus podcasts over on the Patreon, as mentioned. Sometimes they're a lot more chirpy than this one. You know, sometimes you think I would save up all my energy for the free podcast that goes out to everybody. But it depends. It depends where the chips fall. You know, sometimes a bonus podcast that I do on a Friday is fucking pure fire. But if you're chipping into the Patreon, you get all of them, so you can make up your own fucking mind. I'm gonna get out of here. You can enjoy the chat that I had with Mickey Bartlett. His penis only comes out 2 or 3 times, so that's fine. You know what I mean? He me too'd me, whatever. It's all good. But yeah, enjoy that podcast, and we'll see you next week. Unless you're on the Patreon, I'll see you Thursday or Friday. Take care, guys. And it's recording.
There we go. Look at that there.
There we go.
Mickey Bartlett, fucking podcaster, huh?
Well, any technology that allows you to sort of wank online, you're probably way ahead of the curve. And I'm stuck here with all my expensive equipment, not knowing what the fuck to do, and you're just like, I'll send you a fucking Zoom link to see my cock.
Do you want to see me shit, Molly?
Anyway, whose podcast is this? Is this my podcast?
Aye.
Or do you want to do a swap? Do you want to... It always is.
Yeah, it's yours. Fuck it.
You can put it up on the old Deck Chair and Yums podcast page if you want. Swapcast. You know?
Fucking, yeah, we'll see what the crack is. Try to make some money off that Patreon, baby.
Patreon. You know, I was talking to Aaron the other day, and I don't know, I was basically half slagging him. And he goes, what are you talking about, sir? I have 102 ding in the Patreon.
I'm 174. But in fairness, I've just split 950-50 with Connor, so...
I'm surprised the man, like... First of all, guys, welcome to the General Banter Podcast. My guest today, Mickey Bartlett.
Yeah,
and
I'm sober.
You're sober? Here, can I just say, first of all, before this podcast, I'm down in the little garage. We've moved house now, you know, up the street. And I was sort of doing a bit of redding up, and I threw a camera charger like on the seat, and I sat down, and a plug went, and I'm not exaggerating, nearly in my anus.
shit, like round the rigid bit.
Like I felt it like dead in the center. Oh yeah, the prongs, like just right.
No, I mean like the wrinkly bit of your bum was like.
Oh yeah,
not quite the.
Yeah, the muscle. But it's fucking. Yeah, but it's literally just like right in there, and I leapt off the seat. So that's the sort of more than I've had. But here, this is what I was going to say to you.
I stood in a plug once and that hurt. So imagine if it was going up your sphincter.
Well, at least the sphincter will let it in. You know
I hear it. Mine would have swallowed it.
Yeah, you'd have been back in Curry's with a fucking charger. Not working. Here, this is what I was going to say. You know, you're a fan of drinking. Were you drinking?
Uh-huh.
Were you drinking last night?
No.
When was the last time you were drinking?
I drank Saturday night and then woke up. This is how bad my drinking's got during the lockdown thing, right? I didn't finish a bottle of gin and I was patting myself on the back for it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, well done you, showing some restraint.
Fucking hero.
And then ended up on Sunday night. I counted it up, and over the space of about 6 hours, I pretty much ate 2 full Domino's pizzas.
Do me a favor.
And then...
Are you using headphones in the computer?
Aye.
Pop them out a second to see if the computer audio, because
any better?
A bit better.
Is it?
Yeah, because I realized you were talking into the headphones on the phone, and then you're also talking through the mic and the headphones on this. Pointless, you know. But that sounds better. But no, I seen you drinking the tequila or the fucking margaritas the other night, and I was like, you know, it takes stamina if you're by yourself. I don't know who else was drinking. Were you just you?
Yeah, so it's basically did a Zoom podcast with a bunch of comedians. I was like, well, it'll be funny if it'll be on brand if I'm drinking during it. Now, I realised the next day I could affect that. I could have just put a load of fucking cordial in their glass and all this cocktail. What about it?
Yeah.
But I'm not authentic. And see that margaritas going, I swear to fuck, it was like, that was my Everest of drinking because they were stinking. And I figured out that, and this is how my logic's going just during all this. I was like, right, if I keep drinking them, they don't taste rotten. Because if it like give myself a few minutes in between drinks, I'm like, oh, fuck. But if I just kept at it.
Jesus Christ.
I threw up, which I haven't done for a while. I have never bulked like that in my entire life.
Well, see,
like I was at the bathroom door and went, oh, and it hit the toilet.
It's very limey, isn't it? A lot of acid going on. Tequila. You know, you got to throw up when you're drinking tequila. But here, right. I fucking, you know, I was sort of half off drink for a long time, and now I'm slowly come back. Do you know what I'm always late to the party, right? Do you know what I had last night? Somebody, when I did the SSE gigs from Shine, got me like 2 bottles of fancy champagne. Now, I know rightly a famous like DJ has ordered this on a rider. And then they've went, congratulations, Colin. Here's 2 open bottles of fucking Veuve de Clicquot or whatever the fuck it's called. And I took it like, thanks very much. I don't drink this pish. Now, seeing the whole journey of like a little bit of the bubbly, and you know, you're ordering some bollocks out of a hotel. It's £25, but it's just fizzy piss. I drank this champagne last night, and I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm gonna have to be a millionaire now because it's gonna cost me £140 every time I have a wee drink at home now. Blew my mind.
You're all, woo!
I had fucking like Maureen's sister and Eve was like, don't you get old woman drunk? And I was like, you do? Oh fuck, you do.
You definitely do. Even with shitty Prosecco.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like I'm shitty Prosecco, I'm pretty sure has the exact same effect as like mid quality cocaine.
Yeah. What's in between straight and pure? Front room coke?
About £70.
Lounge coke?
Fucking Coke Zero.
I swear to God, I was flirting with myself in the mirror and all. It's like, fucking look at you, you wee fucking hunk. Jesus Christ. You're a wee thickie, aren't you? Bet you pack some punch. That's me talking my dick when I'm pissing. I couldn't believe it. But the sad thing was,
in the room with you, and I just had a great time.
We opened with the fucking Veuve. I don't even know how to say it. Was it Veuve Clicquot or something?
I have no idea.
Vuvie Clicos. We started on that, and then
I thought that was a fellow Paul Conor McGregor once, no?
what?
I thought Vuvie Clicko fought McGregor, no?
Might have, but it was in a fucking just a hotel in Dublin. No, we opened with the Veuve de Clicos, and then we downgraded to just regular Prosecco, and I was like, nah, I'm not that sort of chick anymore. We've evolved. We've evolved into something
Real
better.
Housewives of Dungannon, like.
You're fucking killing it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is like fizzy nothing, and I am fucking chinned.
Are you down with area, right?
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy fucking £70 bottles of champagne, drink every day, all day. I found it.
I know I've been doing this thing where like making myself do like a workout with, which is you will find very funny. I don't know if I told you this the other day. I've been trying to make workouts out of like all the shit my ma bought every New Year's Day. So like New Year, New Me.
Aye.
So like trying to do workouts with like a sit-up bench and an ab roller and fucking all these weird fucking just for something to do. And then I've ended up like going, that's a pretty good workout. And then treating myself like going, well, I'm going to get blocked.
Yeah. Like a
And
shake.
I spent
Is it
3
one
days
of
down
them,
a bed crying.
like shake weights for your ma? Just
And it was a really weird one. It had balls. I don't know what a sticky bit. No, I don't think I was supposed to use it like that.
oh, fuck.
It told me it was a one-handed chin-up bar, but I don't think it was.
It's for doing air chin-ups. It's for strengthening your jaw. You just bite down on it.
Yeah, chin down. Oh.
Oh my fuck. I know there's some fucking piles of shit. I see like I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon were behind this fucking COVID-19 thing because someone has to put a lock on my phone. I'm like thinking of things like what can I buy today that's like fucking useless that I'll not use.
So I bought a fedora.
Why?
Apparently, got an email. I don't know. I think I was drunk.
A fedora?
I must have been like after like class, and then woke up the next morning an email being like your package is with Hermes, and I looked at my phone and I was like,
Your package is with herpes.
Herpes.
But how the fuck? Yeah, I think. Do you think that you look like Jason Momoa, but then the fedora arrives and you're like, oh, I look like Van Morrison?
I look like Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Fucking Jason Momoa.
Who were you looking at when you seen a fedora and thought I could pull that off? Was it
I don't know. But
Nathaniel Rateliff or whatever his name?
Who the fuck I thought it was. Say it again.
What's the name? Nathaniel. What do you call that cunt? Nathaniel Rateliff?
Oh, fuck up. Maybe that's who I did think I look like.
Son of a bitch!
He's a wee ginger sexy man. Right?
He's a wee fat alco too.
He's a wee dwarf, ain't
I swear to God, I'm gonna come out of this lockdown like fucking Yokozuna. I'm eating like. Do you ever see those? You know, like Eddie Hall, like those strongman diets where they're like, "Oh, today you can follow. You know, watch me eat through 10,000 calories," and I'm like, this doesn't differ a lot from my diet, to be honest.
It's pretty simple, like.
Yeah, just you know, you're.
I weighed myself at one point. I was like, I'm definitely the fattest I've ever been in my life. And that says a lot. I'm fat my whole life.
That's the name of the podcast. Fattest I've ever been in my life. If you it's so funny. Like I keep, the more I research like fitness and stuff, the more I'm like someone put up a thing the other day. I read it and they were like, if you run a marathon, you only burn about 2,500 calories, which is like a sensible day's worth of food. And you're like, it doesn't, like, if you're trying to work out to like stay in shape, it is absolutely pointless. Do you know what I mean? Like, see, I've done. You're like, oh, you're on the piss. Then the next day, you fucking have a hangover and you eat like a tramp. And then the next day, you're like, man, I'm gonna shake these cals off by doing a bit of a salt bike. Not a chance. Like, you'd be better being in a fucking induced coma if you want to lose weight. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking wake up skinny. What happened? Well, you couldn't eat a fucking Domino's every lunchtime. Okay.
How long was I out? 8 years. Fuck me. What that weigh? 15 stone. That's a stone off.
I know. I was joking the other day. I hurt my back like honestly 5 weeks ago now. And see when you've a baby, like you I know it's making excuses, but it's hard to get time to yourself. So you can't wake up and be like, right, I'm just gonna go straight down here, do some stretching, maybe do a light workout. You can't do that. You're like tied in to the baby,
Right.
and then you're doing stuff, and then we're sort of trying to move house and everything. But it's just been nagging me all the fucking time. And yesterday I was like, right, I honestly need to be about 4 stone lighter. Boy's like, well, what weight would you be then? I was like, 15 and a half stone. I was like, still a heavyweight boxer. But
I think I'm hitting 17 at this point, and that's all fat.
Brilliant.
Insane, like
Like-
I'm wearing this is an extra large top, and it's too small.
Like, if you think, like, you're like, the thing you could always grip onto was you going like, oh, you're a big fat bastard. And I think you're confusing heavier with fatter. And
I'm
at the minute,
so fat, like
I'm about two and a bit stone heavier than you. And
I
I'm
know.
considerably bigger. Frame.
That's the thing. It's crazy, like, and I just can't fucking, like, I've been saying it for years. I'm like, I need to stop drinking. I need to stop eating so much shit.
Do you ever see, like, if you're going around, like, a small town and you're like, oh, that's old fucking Jimmy, what's his tits there? He's an old town fucking alky, hangs around all the bars,
Right.
and he's built like a fucking breadstick. How do you do that drinking?
I know.
Have you to drink all?
That's a different level. That's people that don't eat, though. That's people just fucking just drinking.
Yeah.
And also, I think at some point your liver will break down and you'll just start to fucking wither away and die.
That's why you got to stick.
Alex Higgins looks like fucking QE played snooker with.
Yeah. But here, I mean, is there a funny? You've probably told the story on the time we were filming for that LOL show.
Oh, I was, yeah.
Tell that story because I enjoy it.
So we were doing a sketch show. You haven't seen it. It wasn't very funny. And
Wouldn't even have heard
Alex
of it.
Higgins' funeral. His funeral came through the city centre, so we're out to the city hall, and everything just fucking stopped. Like, everything stopped. And then the procession went around the corner, and the first noise you heard was like the council emptied a bottle bank. And then somebody just went, fuck, they've dropped them.
That is fucking tremendous. Where have I lost you on the Zoom thing here?
Fuck, is it gone off?
Is it off for you?
No, I can hear everything.
Where am I? I can't see you. Hold on. Where are you?
Go down to your wee camera settings on the bottom.
Oh, I found it. There we go. Jesus Christ, near shitted. That's so
You're
funny.
shit the bag.
That's so funny. They've dropped them. There was some fucking turnout though.
Fucking rebels. So I'm just getting comfy.
Oh, what do you think you'll do with the hair scenario now that you've shaved it?
We're going to keep it like this, man, because see, the thing was, see there, you could see where it was starting to thin at the front.
Mm.
You remember I shaved it like years ago because it was going this way?
Yeah.
And I was noticing one bit coming there, and then I got rid of it, and I was like, fuck it, Joe, I'm just going to keep it like this. I think that's maybe why I bought the fedora.
Let me tell you something. The only thing that's going to make you look worse is owning a fucking fedora. just go bald, man. Just if you grew your hair out like Bill Bailey, you'd look better than you would if you had a fucking fedora.
And I don't know, because I don't want to be a complete dick, but you're not exactly an expert in hats yourself, are you?
Yes, I am.
Your hats are lovely.
If it's one thing I know.
I know the problem is, I can't wear like fucking snapbacks. I bought one in Australia. And I look ridiculous. I look like a fucking Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah, just it's a bit, you gotta get what suits your head. You know what I mean?
I know, and the flat cap never makes fun of that. So I just thought, well, fuck it, you know what, I'm branching out.
No, you look good in a flat cap. It's the fucking giant bulbous, like, Mario Brothers one that you wear that comes out the side.
Here, that's the best one.
That's not the best one.
It is. It's cute.
The Mickey blinder. It's fucking weird. It's too big.
Mickey Bartlett.
That's what I'm gonna call you, Piggy Bartlett.
By the way, for anybody wondering at home what it's like to ride me, this is pretty much the angle.
The old fucking.
Look at that.
Oh Jesus!
All right.
What's if you're wondering what it'd be like to get fucking out by me?
Imagine this with a fedora. Huh?
Here you are behind the fourth wall. Let me
I am fucking sweating that, man. I'm having a stroke.
of the cock or
That it does, but there's rings growing on my basket now.
there's a ton of questions that came in for this podcast. If we want to use some to like guide our way through.
Aye, happy days.
Do you fancy it?
Aye.
There's so fucking many of them. How long do I find them? Oh, there's loads. Most of them are directed at you losing your fucking Marblaze. Hold on. If you could isolate anywhere in the world, where would it be? Also, how much is the ideal amount to drink during all this? Because I can't stop. Well, you're talking to the right guy. Do you know what?
I've broken fucking personal records and everything during this.
Yeah.
There was a night where I drank, I counted it, and it was 22 bottles of Heineken. And I know there was a point where I blacked out because I opened the fridge and was surprised there was no beer left. But do you know what I mean? So like, I remember the fridge being full and then me going to check and there was no beer. And I was like, what the fuck?
Do you ever get those nights where like, you know, you're like, right, lads, we're on the piss. We're well stocked up. You know, it's complete overkill. And I think you basically just, you drink as much as you buy. So you'll find a way to get through it. You'll get really lazy with the drink. You know what I mean? You're like taking 4 sips out of it and you leave a bottle beside the bog and then you get another one. And then like you tear into the fucking whiskey and then by, you know, fucking 5 a.m, you're drinking like Advocat or whatever you call it. You just whatever shite you can find. Oh, we're drinking creme de menthe.
I drank it here in Santa Pons in 2008. It's fucking lovely.
I know. And then you fucking poke out your nose. Here, I'll tell you what would be good after fucking bottle of Buckfast and 26 Stella. Creme de menthe and milk.
Do you ever have a warm Bailey's? It's delicious.
I was talking to Aaron the other week and he was like, oh, I was having a wee drink with my ma and all watching the two of them. Him and his ma watched Tom Segura's new special. Where like one of the main bits is like, can you imagine how many dicks your ma's taking? And he goes, I had a few drinks. I was drinking Baileys and all lovely. And I was like, fucking hell. I was like, he goes, I'm dying today. And I was like, fucking hell, how much did you drink? And he was like, an old bottle, sir. And I was like, you drank a full bottle of Baileys? And then he goes, I was like, you know, not that we're fucking fitness experts around here, but I was like, do you know how many fucking calories are in like Baileys is by far the worst, like closely followed by like Magners or something, like like really sugary drinks. But that one's like sugar and cream and everything. And I was like, it's so many calories. And he goes, nah, it's not. No. And I was like, I'll look it up now. And he goes like, nah, don't, sir, don't. And I looked it up and I was like, do you know how much a 35, like if I remember correctly, a 35 ml shot is something like 280 calories.
Jesus Christ.
And he's like, no, sir.
That's about a pint of Guinness, isn't it?
It's like eating a Mars bar. No, that's probably wrong. But it was something like, it was something like that where I read it and I was like, fuck me. But
I think it was about 300 a pint of Guinness.
Probably. But Jesus Christ, like horrendous. But I can judge people now because I'm a fancy champagne lady. You know what I'm saying? But how much? That guy's like, how much should you drink? I would say just drink enough to make you comfortable. You know.
Right.
And the famous quote from Owen, Maureen's dad's mate. He goes, just drink. He said, I'll have to stop drinking and I'll have to go home or else I'll not be able to take drink tomorrow. And that's a great attitude.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Now he was saying that as two people were carrying him out of a room. He goes, I have to go to bed or I'll not be able to take drink tomorrow. And I tell you what, one of the best quotes. I mean, that's great. That's headstone material.
That's worthy. Like,
let me see what
that's one thing. That's the problem. I don't think I haven't drank 2 days in a row. I don't think. Maybe since because the first week of lockdown, me and everybody was panic buying pasta. Me and my dad panic bought beer, and then panic drank it.
Right.
So I think like that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was blitzed for 3 days.
Yeah.
But then since then, I haven't done 2 days in a row.
I have to like,
But when I drink, I'm drinking like fuck. Like,
yeah. If I'm drinking that much, I have to leave a gap, or else the drink has no effect.
right.
Like if I'm on day 2, it's like, it's just work.
I would like, so if you're on a fucking stag party or something like that, on the second day you can drink all day and nothing happens,
Yeah.
and then by about 8 o'clock you're drunk enough to feel like you're not hungover.
Yeah, you drink to feel, it's like heroin. You fucking drink it to just feel fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? But again, once I've opened this door into this new champagne life, so we'll see. I'll really get it on board and see if I can get chinned a few days in a row.
Keep it up.
For sure. People are genuinely concerned about like that you might be losing your mind.
And I think it's fucking hysterical. Like, because here, weirdly, the only thing stopping me probably losing it was pretending to lose it.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that were going, no, seriously, are you all right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Fucking
I
hell.
have not stopped laughing. That's some of the stuff I've done. And by the way, I've ordered a full like ninja costume, so stay tuned.
Imagine you caught fucking corona from like getting packages to your house, and they're like, "What was it that put them over the edge?" And you're like, "Ninja outfit for an adult."
Says the ninja outfit, it's more it's revenge attire.
I can't laugh at anything. I bought a fucking basketball net the other day. I'm fucking. I'm watching fucking highlight videos of like Kobe Bryant and then going out the back and just missing like 80 shots in a row. And just going, do you know what? I think is that the right height? Is this the wrong fucking type of hoop or something? Just Kobe and
Why can't I dunk?
yeah, 10 feet's very high when you see it. I'm like fucking Kobe and then just throwing the ball at a window. Dickhead. So
Going right, that's it. N.
yeah, so embarrassed. Like she'll come out and be like, "Do you not hear me calling you?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I was sinking fucking. I was just swishing these balls in." And she's like, "I'm fucking
R. Kelly on in the background.
man, I'm space jamming. Leave me alone." Yeah, fucking just lose. Everyone's doing their own crazy shit. You know what I mean? If I see one more fucking, like some person that's like, normally I work as this, but I've really got stuck into my crafts. If anyone wants to buy a felt puppet, you're like, fuck off. Oh, here, I'm normally a fucking solicitor, but I'm taking a load of pipe cleaners and making a fucking scarf. If you want to buy one.
Yeah. I'm getting really back into homemade bath salts.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's my passion.
Yeah, I have a lot of time to burn, so I'm doing adult colouring in. Fuck off. I wish you would start drinking, you fucking loser. Let me see what other questions. I let out a wee cheer when I seen Mickey was coming on. Feel like a dick, to be honest. What do you boys think of girls with boyfriends having OnlyFans, and also how many jacks have you had during quarantine? Now,
do you want me to? I'll take this one, Colin.
is he? Now it's weird. Now is he joking? All right, okay. He must have heard me saying about Shane asking how many jacks have you had, because you know what? Who says jacks?
Right.
How many jacks have you had?
I think Shane went, I think I've had about 3 since lockdown. And I was like, I've had 3 the day.
Yeah.
And it was 9:30 in the morning.
I'm literally texting you boys, empty and bag on the side here. It's all
Right.
good.
If you're wondering why I came up typing for ages on WhatsApp, it's because I was knocking one out.
You're like acting on the other end, like, answer me, will you?
Shane brought it up and I was like, that reminds me.
No, honestly, he said it like he's trying to be in with the boys. Like, how many jacks are you guys having?
Like, Shane's lived like locked down in the house with his wife. I'm stuck with my man and dad, so there's a reason why my average is up. Because my dad's sexy.
And you look exactly like him. I've always had a twin fantasy. It's fucking. No, I swear to God, if you're talking busting nuts. Oh, wait a minute. Someone's calling me there. the best place, the best way to be is on your own. You for sure get more. This is the best scenarios. Being on your own with good Wi-Fi. I went to throw a thing in the bin there, and it went actually into the printer, so that's good crack. By yourself, or if you were just sort of seeing someone for about 2 months, and then they're like, "Well, we'll do the lockdown together," and you're like, "Sure," and then it's fuckfest 9,000.
Aye.
But then you might get to know them too quick, and then you're like, "I want out of this immediately."
You're an actual psychopath, like that.
Yeah.
That could happen. I don't know. The OnlyFans thing, that's something that's like that. I've noticed that popping up loads now.
I mean, I felt like doing a podcast on OnlyFans just for the crack, but
like I know girls that were like selling their cakes on eBay years ago.
Girl, this says, what do you think of girls with boyfriends having OnlyFans? Does that mean
fella about to break up with his missus and he's reading it?
Does this mean like
somebody has an OnlyFans? Like
it's like, how weird is it? I mean, like in 20 years' time, is it gonna be fully? Do you know, like, you know, there started to be like movies coming out, and then there was the whole fappening thing, and you could watch a movie and go, "Oh, I've never seen her before. She's attractive," and then just type their name in, and then be like, "There they are, naked." I wonder, is it gonna be like everybody is just like, "Oh, I just, you know," it'll be like, "Oh, have you Facebooked them, or have you been on their face?" It'll be like, have you been on their Instagram or whatever?" It'll just be like, "Oh, I know who it is." And then you can be like, "But I'm going to check out her OnlyFans just to see her asshole." Is that going to be fully normal? But, you know, it'll be like, "Well, sure, you've seen me naked, but at least I'm profiting off it." And everyone has income from OnlyFans.
Right. I don't know if this has already been a bit, but I was going to try and write a bit about how not only do I think dick pics aren't that rude, I actually think they're quite important. Because you could go on a date with a guy, and then it goes well, and then get home, he's got a wee tiny willy, and you're like, "Fuck, I wish he'd sent me a pic."
Yeah.
And then I was wondering, has anybody ever done a bit where you go, if you're about to date somebody and you haven't sent each other nudes, when you get to the door of the restaurant, just like, "Nice to see you, listen, before we go in, I think out there."
Oh, yeah. It's like that fucking...
The girl's like, "I can work with that. What do you think I see it?" Seems fine.
I love the double 4-fingered grip you had there. What was that? You were holding open? A full asshole? Yeah, it's very fucking strange.
It was a skirt and pants.
If there's... But do you know what I don't understand is like...
Chinese writing?
Yeah, but do you have to like... Say I had like a Patreon for podcasts. Do I then go on to Instagram and Facebook and be like, "Hey guys, if you want more content, it's over here"? The people that you're going to be advertising to are going to be like your fucking acquaintances and friends and family? You'd be like, "Hey guys, I'm just over here on fucking OnlyFans if you want to see my fucking innards."
Yeah. And then, and is OnlyFans like cam girls? Is it like, well,
I think I don't
like,
know, but
fucking...
I don't know. I think it's more like just content. You know, I think it's just like buying into a fucking like an Instagram account type thing, and there's just a load of photo sets and fucking videos or whatever.
Awful weird. I don't get why anybody would be into that, considering porn is free and everywhere.
Yeah, and like there are some full screamer porn stars out there, you know? It's not just some girl who's fucking... I don't know, I wonder, is it getting more popular with dudes where it's like, some dudes like, "Listen, I'm packing a hog, I'll take a bunch of photos without my face in it. Here's my dick." But then, again...
Yeah, I don't know.
You're one Google away from being...
I think there's definitely a psychological aspect of it where like when I was in Bahrain,
here we go.
The dude was all like, the dude was all like, so basically, like, the true story of the Bahrain, but I didn't stand up, is we were in this bar and a fucking hooker came up and the bloke I was with went, "Where's she from?" And I went, "Thailand." He went, "Oh, you're so fucking lucky." And I was like, he believes in his head that he's pulling the women he's paying to have sex with.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking is that the same with OnlyFans stuff where they're like, "Oh, she's my girlfriend"?
No, I think it's like you can go on porn all day, and you can it's like being at a buffet. You're just like,
all day, Joe Rogan by night.
You'll just I'll try that. Whereas like the OnlyFans thing is like, it's probably a bit more exciting because if you know the person, you know what I mean? If you're like, "Fuck, that's your girl there, or that's your fella, and he does this, and I'm about to fucking see his fucking cock." Maybe it's a bit more exciting. You know what I mean?
Anyway,
It definitely.
I just missed that part.
But it definitely would be. Do you know what I mean? If you were like, if you were like, oh, do you ever go into the fucking center? You know, the girl works in there that everyone fucking pervs over, and you'd be like, yeah, and you'd be like, she's on OnlyFans. Your fucking phone would be out of your pocket, and you wouldn't even
drop your shop and go straight home.
You wouldn't even have used your hands. You know what I mean? So it's like it's probably more exciting because you know them for sure. Maybe. Like Aaron was saying about some girl from Oma who was on it, which I had a bit about. Never even said. I don't even know who the fuck it is, but yeah, they were like fucking buzzing because they were like, "Fuck, she's from Oma." Do you know what I mean? It was like
one of our own.
It was like scandal, a bit of scandal. I don't fucking know, but listen, it's so funny. All the conspiracies, all the 5G, all the technological advances, all the fucking vaccinations that are going to put chips in your arm, and still. We just want to sit at home and pull our wee plonkers. Isn't it like you almost feel like you should be beyond it now where, you know, you're like, oh my God, they're going to put chips in our head and steal all our fucking data and your personality is going to be rated and that's going to give you fucking social points and everything. And then you're like, yeah, I'll be 10 minutes late. Can't live without it. Oh God. Right, you're sacked. I know, but it was worth it. Just pulling your wee fucking Chinese dick. You know what I mean? Look at the size of this tin. Sponsored by Schweppes Ginger Ale.
Where did you buy that? Hobbiton?
Just put on a lot of weight in this quarantine. For fuck's sake. Yeah, it's so funny. I might write a bit about that. Let me see what other bits I've got. Also this. Did you enjoy Joey Diaz's stand-up?
Has he done a new one?
Don't know. Favorite episode of Always Sunny. Started watching it a few weeks ago, and I'm hooked.
Hooked, absolutely.
What's my favorite? Do you know what? Probably, and I don't know whether it's a bit of a hacky one, but the Beat Boggs one on the plane is probably my favorite.
I think like the Nightman Comet's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But the hardest I've ever laughed at anything was the when Charlie's on a date and he can't say philanthropist.
Full-on rapist.
Like full-on rapist. Well, yeah, you know, kids, diabetics, retards. Like that's the hardest I've ever laughed at a TV show in my life. So that one probably. That
one's good. There's the fucking the Pride one where Max fully ripped doing the dance at the end. That episode is lethal though. But it's fucking that's the thing. Like, you know, how many series have they done? Like 13 or something, and you can be like on the 13th series and go, okay, that's one of the best episodes ever. Or, you know.
Right.
They just stay good, like it's amazing.
Yeah, because the one where they try to win the award as well, where like the whole fucking metaphor for sitcoms.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Put the bottle in. Take the bottle out. Put the bottle in.
Emily McGleenan, your cuddly toy carryouts bring a tear to my eye. They're so romantic. When's the wedding?
And that's the thing. I was going to try and do, and it was too ambitious. I was going to try and film the entire opening fucking thing from Up. And then I realized I was going to try and have to make fucking costumes for a teddy bear. I was like, fuck this, who's going to kick up a garden?
Well, what else have you doing? Daniel Fox, what would be a ludicrous phrase to say when you climax?
Ash off now.
What was the one
If you say anything after you climax, it's ludicrous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Luda. Like,
keep a change.
What would be? It would be like
repeal the it.
Repeal. It'd be fucking like. Imagine you just went pump, counting down 5, 4, 3, and then just went, oh, me too, just like that. No, this is what you do. You just go squirt, and then you go pregnant.
Oh, drippy fanny. Huh?
Oh my god. Well, no, that's funny.
Yeah. You start talking about sex like the cup of tea, jump and leave the bag in.
2 sugars.
Got an order for Geraldine. My name's Stacey. Well, sure.
Deck it.
That's yours.
Blurp. Or just like
even just thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just you're welcome. Enjoy.
Next stop, sleepy time.
Enjoy that.
Just a Paul Dean impression. Go, butter.
You've given lots of.
These are all things I want to do if I get the right.
You've given lots of info on your inspirations from comedy, Louis C.K., Chappelle. What's your opinion on mainstream UK comedians, Lee Evans, Michelle McIntyre, etc.? Selling out arena tour after arena tour.
Lee Evans is like gets slagged off a lot, but I think what I've always said is like when he was the first person to ever be like Lee Evans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like some of the stuff was fucking class, and McIntyre as well. There were some brilliant bits, but I think there's a lot of comedians. There's a lot of them that aren't very good, get tons of overexposure. Like there's ones I've worked with, and I'm like, you're fucking nothing compared to even the most mediocre club comic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just there's.
But it doesn't matter either. You know what I mean? It's like if something's fucking popular, there's a reason for it. Sometimes.
Yeah.
People like it, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, if you really were like, you know, it's different. Like when you see like a McIntyre, Lee Evans, or something. I don't like when people are like, "I'll tell you who's funny, Lee Evans," and it's only because it's the only comedian they've ever heard of. But like, if you were to see the energy and effort it takes to like perform to that many people, you know, for like an hour and a half, fucking 2 hours, it's so impressive. Even if like, I know you're jaded a bit when you're a comedian. You're like, but the material's a load of shite. But to have a style of comedy that works in front of people, that many people, is a fucking, you know, it takes work. Like it's not just
no doubt.
But
I think there's definitely times where like the stuff comedians laugh at and respect is so far beyond what the audiences think it's funny because we're around it all the time.
Totally. And you know, for the most part, like people talk about like, you know, lowest common denominator comedy or whatever, but like most people are that. You know, it doesn't. Most people, there's a lot of people who are like, I just fucking go about my day, and you know, my break's at fucking 12:30, and I have my fucking egg and cucumber sandwich, and then I go. You know, there's a large sort of portion of the population where all they need is a wee bit of like, isn't that some crack?
Right.
They don't need it to be like the most cutting edge, fucking like woke, you know, vicious comedy. Right. You know, it's like doesn't have to be that.
You don't have to break barriers. You can do really good partners.
Now, speaking of which, the bit that I closed on the Odyssey about me shitting in Amsterdam, I got that like professionally sound mixed. I must actually write that down because I need to pay the guy. But me doing that like diarrhea noise echoing through an arena, beautiful,
sublime. Beautiful
stuff. And shitting, never not funny, is what I will say.
Right.
Top quality.
I concur.
What's been keeping you lads entertained most at the minute? This guy said Mickey's Meltdown on Instagram. Instagram has been giving my mates some top quality entertainment. Everybody.
You're welcome.
What was the question? What's been keeping you lads entertained most at the minute? Masturbation.
Yeah. I've been getting really into PlayStation, bro.
Fair play to you.
Yeah. It's weird. I tend to, like, you know, like you forget what day it is and shit. You go, is it fucking what? Like, is it Monday, Tuesday? What is it? And I've been going through it. It's almost like a weekly kind of Monday. I'm treating like I treated Monday when we're still out gigging, which is like this is my day off.
Yeah.
So I'll do fuck all. Right. And then Thursday I usually get blocked, and then I'm raging about it. I don't really know. I haven't done it. That's another thing too. I'm so good at doing fuck all. This hasn't really made that much of a difference.
I was thinking that.
It's just there's other people about now.
I caught myself on the other day, and I was like, why the fuck am I? Because I was like, why have I more work to do, and it's supposed to be a lockdown? Because I was like, get over to the Patreon, I'll do fucking 2 extra podcasts a week, and now I'm like, if like the days just fly by because I'm like, there's another one, and then I'm like, I'm gonna need 2 weeks off during my fucking 8 weeks off here. Fucking knackered. Unbelievable. I'm gonna fake my death and just move into a shed. Just to get 5 minutes away, for fuck's sake. But
that's different too. Like, we even more having a kid and all that sort of stuff. Like, and by the way, how's the child?
He's got 2 teeth coming through.
Yeah.
He's shouting all over the place. He's fucking just strong. Like, you can't like let him get a hold of your ear or something because you know it'll come off. But yeah, he's like teething, so it's like having a fucking Saint Bernard in the house. The amount of spits flying around.
Aye.
But he's doing well. Yeah, probably start him on some food soon.
Oh, class.
Yeah.
And then the real fucking poop forgiven.
Oh, all right. I'll shit right back at him. I don't give a fuck. My house now, baby. But yeah, he's doing well. He's just big. I've noticed we're like, you know, you're trying to like get him to sleep and you're like rocking him about and you're like, I need a fucking sports massage after this shit.
Right.
Cunt's 20 stone. And when he goes all dead weight when he's asleep, he's literally like fucking 2.5 feet long. He's not like a big chunky baby, but it's like carrying around a 4-year-old. You're like, this guy's, you know, like about that long. You're like, Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Let me see this. This is a good question. We could nearly fucking end on this bad boy. What's going to be your pint of choice after lockdown ends? And where will you be having it? Ooh, bitch!
Oh, fuck. There's a bar in Bangor does a really fucking class pint of Guinness. So yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah, I've been craving a pint of Guinness since fucking. Because I was all amped up for like Paddy's Day. I was like, fucking drink stout all day in class.
Yeah.
And then obviously they closed the pubs the night before.
Yeah. But you know what?
So my plan was to get to a bar and go give them 2 pints of Guinness and sink one of them and then enjoy the second one.
Do you know what? Fuck pubs. I'm like because Maureen's dad bought like kegs off, you know, the local bar.
Aye.
And he had a bit of a fucking like cowboy rig going on where you could pour pints, but I would love to get like a proper setup. You know, a keg's not that dear. You could buy it off a pub.
Right.
And just have you know, like our wedding was, just have everyone come around and just fucking cranking out pints, eating sausages, you know, and just, you know, like talking shite to fucking 5 a.m. about.
I'm looking forward to something like that too. Like,
I'm more excited about that. But yeah, obviously, like, I'd love a bit of day drinking done in fucking Lavery's or something.
First gig, I cannot fucking.
Oh my God.
There's a strong chance I'll cry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the first Lavery's back.
I'm sitting the other night drinking gin and watching my Ulster Hall show. Like, fuck, do you remember stand up? Like,
I swear. See when you like step back from it a wee bit, because I'm gonna, and I've talked about it for fucking 3 weeks now. I put up like 2 shows, onto the Patreon just both years, and because like what. I don't need the fucking material now, like that.
Right.
So I'll put it up. But when you really separate it from it and you're not doing the material, whatever, and then I watched it back, and then there were some bits I was like, bro, that is really good. It's like, that's good, man.
I was genuinely laughing at some of the shit that I was going. I was like, because there was a point where I started thinking, how did I come up with that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, because you have because you get to see when you're gigging loads, you're busy enough. Like, material is almost like second nature, just comes out of you.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't.
Going, how the fuck did I fill in an hour?
Yeah, you don't need like. There was a clip where I just left my phone at the side of the stage, and it was like one of the last Laveries, and I'd done some jokes about coronavirus, but even that, I was like, I don't remember having those thoughts or whatever. But I was like, they're good jokes, and I wish I'd have filmed it better because I'd have put it out. But I was like, that's good, and all I did was like make a small note in the phone. And then 10 minutes before I went on, just scribbled some shite. And then it came out like a pretty decent joke. I was like, fucking hell. I was just doing that without even putting in that much work.
Yeah, I fucking love when that shit happens. I just can't wait for that. Fucking hell. But then who knows when that's going to happen? Because if they're saying that, because there's also like I think there's chat that like the lockdown might be over in 3 weeks, but it'll be another couple of months before they start opening bars and stuff.
Oh, why? Probably because it's
I think
it's gatherings, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think here as well. Like reading the paper this morning, they reckon like the health secretary who's the health secretary of Northern Ireland? I can't even fully remember.
I don't know.
It's basically they reckon that I think we've beat the curve like in Ireland because it's spread out and we're not fucking living on top of each other.
Right.
But we're still going to have to go by UK rules. So,
well, yeah, obviously. I mean, I would rather do it properly than try and sort of push it on. I would rather someone went, listen, we can start filtering things back in like May. But I would rather they just went, if we just don't do anything till fucking August, we can all just go back to normal. Instead, because there'll be like this second wave of like shit if people try and get out there too soon. But I don't know. The weird thing is, Maureen, because of her treatment and stuff, was basically social distancing before this even came in, and we'll have had to have done it after anyway till our immune system comes back up. So even if you were allowed out in public now and to go about your day, we still wouldn't be doing it anyway. So I don't know. Not much changes for us, like, but I do miss an old fucking cappuccino.
I fucking like a McDonald's cheeseburger, something that I'm like, fuck, I love these.
Well, scumbag, but yeah.
You ain't something dirty, like. Yeah, just fucking. Actually, I miss beer gardens. I do miss that. I'm going to be drunk today. Fucking nice day. Here we go.
Where do you like go out for drink and then come back and wash the drink and all that shit?
No, not really. There was a day though, like my next door neighbor owns an off license, and I was like, there's a day he came back and he's like, "Fuck me, sure, I've never worked like that hard in my life." And I was on the phone to somebody, and I was like, "Oh, my neighbor just said he's never worked so hard," and the guy was like, "Is he a healthcare worker?" And I was like, "No, he owns a boozer in Lurgan."
Is he a healthcare worker? Well, he's taking care of my mental health right now, sir.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's answer for in 6 weeks.
Steamboat's hate.
No.
Let me see now. Has Mickey fully taken the red pill yet?
Nah, I've licked it.
Crushed it up.
I've licked it and keep putting it back.
Crushed it and what the
Sorry,
fuck?
I've rubbed it on my gums.
Rubbed it on my gums. Did you watch that Tim Dillon podcast?
Alright, man. Yeah.
You see, there's a load of weird there's a load of weird fucking conspiracy theories, and you can chat all day, but then there are certain things where you're like, okay, they're talking to an actual person who, and you see when you can like actually connect the dots to like real things, and you start to be like, oh my fucking god,
that's the thing about like, because obviously me and Casey do that podcast, and it wasn't supposed to be a conspiracy theory podcast. Do you know what I mean? It was supposed to be actually like mainly sort of about politics, but then obviously because there's nothing else going on.
Yeah.
And some of the shit that he's read, and I've been around conspiracy theorists for like fucking 10 years, and I'm not one, but I'm also like, if a conspiracy theory is proven true, I'm also like, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. But they think like, when you think about all this dark shit going on, and then your woman was saying about like, I mean, there were so many things. Like you nearly need to listen to about fucking 10 minutes of it, and then take notes, and then listen to another.
Go for a smoke and go back in. Like fucking hell.
Because she was all like, "Oh, fucking Bill Gates has proposed this thing about vaccines, and he doesn't even vaccinate his own kids, and fucking blah blah. And he's only doing it in areas where they don't want them to breed, and fucking he was." Working with fucking Epstein and those Wexner ones, and everyone's funding each other, and then you're like, they just wiped Epstein out because he wasn't important to them anymore, and he was like middle management and all that. And you're just like, what, Jesus Christ, and the girl.
That's the thing about like most conspiracy theorists have been saying that like fucking 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So this is the bit. So like when COVID-19 happens, everybody's locked down and 5G's come out.
Yeah.
it's like every conspiracy theorist in the world is like, it's happening! It's happening!
Yeah.
And then you find out a lot of it's just bullshit and misinformation. So you know. But I'm fully on board with the fact that there's a bunch of fucking billionaires raping kids. Like,
how weird though. Do you know what I mean? Why does it have to be fucking kids? Why can't you just be like Dan Bilzerian and just get a bunch of fucking tens sucking your dick every day?
There's loads of different, like, there's people saying it's all satanic rituals and shit like that. I don't know if it is, but like, they're just mad cunts.
Yeah. See, when they start talking about eugenics and all that shit, and they're trying to sterilize people that they think aren't clever enough, and you know, trying to.
And like there's a lot of them have done these public talks. They're talking about depopulation, and they've all been on record as saying the most fucked up shit in the world.
Yeah.
And the bit in that Tim Dillon one with the girls, like, she goes, I worked for like Epstein or your man Wexner for like a year. She goes, there's 30 women have come forward to say that Epstein abused them. She went, when I worked there for a year, there was at least 5 little girls went into his office every fucking day.
Jesus.
Where are they?
Yeah.
And then she was saying about the lawyer for the Epstein case in Florida has a list of 500 women's names and they can't find one of them.
That's a nightmare, like, isn't it? Because
You know
do you know what? It's
nuts,
like it's probably not that hard. COVID. It's probably not that hard to go to like some fucking depraved shithole and be like, what if we just give you like more, what if we give you more money than you could earn in your life and it's still only 800 quid? And we just take your girl here and we should give her a modeling career, and the next minute they just scoop a fucking 12-year-old and away you go, like. And the parents are like, we make lots of, very proud of my daughter. We make lots of money. She is a professional model in America. Disco dance.
But even the fact that, like, because that was one of the things that they said, that woman said about, was it Epstein's maids or whatever?
Yeah.
Where the maid was like, oh, they stole us. They just literally fucking took us.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, like. Brutal.
Like, remember there's just so much of it. I think with like conspiracy theorists tend to connect all the dots and go, right, it's all connected. But then you never know how much of it's been released to cover shit up.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like, here's the thing. Me and you are the same. Like, we like big titties and fat asses. And I'll tell you something. 12-year-olds don't have them. So
yeah.
Give me an I'll fucking...
Well, I did, in fairness, when I was 12.
Yeah. And then they always talk about these eugenics and like they're trying to create the master race and all. Have you seen any of them fucking Rothschilds?
Aye.
Master race, my hole. Your face, I mean, it looks like you just fucking you look like a baby bird.
Yeah. There's just fucking, I don't know, man. Like, I'm at a point now where I'm just not even fucking watching the news or reading anything. I'm like, fuck this. Put me in a bad mood.
You're not doing a Phil Casey and deleting your Facebook and everything?
I fucking thought about it, to be honest with you.
Well, listen, I was using it for promotion and now I can't be arsed, so I might just stick to the Instagram. Same thing, really, but
right.
Fuck it.
But there's definitely, like, and we said to each other before, like, we don't know what social media does to people, but you can see that, like, people don't know how to argue anymore. They're just being like, you're a complete cunt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're all fed one version of the news.
Well, you're not actually arguing with anything. You're arguing with like a sentence that you read. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's weird that you can wake up, see a sentence on a screen and be fucking angry. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's insane. I don't know.
Crazy times, man.
I need 2 red pills for my headache. I'm
one blue, one for the one.
We'll have to cut this off, Mick, because this video's got about 3 minutes left and it'll run out fairly quickly.
Well, I'm going to make myself a wee lunch anyway.
Oh, good man. Yourself?
I'm going to have fags and beer for lunch.
Well, I'll sign off here then. You stay on the line there, Mick, to ask you some dirty questions. That's it. Cheers for being my guest today, Michael.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
I'll try and go dual mono on the sound here and make it a better quality, but see you next week, I suppose. Goodbye.
Cheerio.